Pisces.
Hello Pisces, this is your January forecast for 2014. Happy New Year, and this is going to be quite a spectacular month, and it's starting off with a big bang. And this is because we got the Sun, we got the new moon, we got Mercury, Pluto, and Venus all together. Now Venus is not part of the stellium, but it is also still passing through Capricorn like the other planets. But the other ones, they're in a stellium, and that really brings a lot of punch to it. For you, this is going to be in the social house, so expect things to really bubble up here as far as groups, friends, hopes, dreams, and wishes, and also maybe that with organizations or working with something technical, because the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius and Uranus. And Uranus rules everything technology, it rules the internet and the web, it also rules everything that's unusual and unexpected. So we can add that to the mix, but having the Sun and the new moon here on January 1st, on New Year's, well, you know how it is with our new moons. We always plant our seeds, you know, for our intentions on every new moon, but this happens to be a New Year's, and so of course we plant our intentions for the entire year. So it's like a double whammy, and then adding to it, it is here conjunct Pluto. Now Pluto is the pivotal point of transformation. So whatever it is you're putting as intention here on this day, let it be about your social life. Let it be about how you can grow and expand this area. So you may see not only the fruits of this intention here this month or throughout the year, but since Pluto is there, Pluto's trying to end a chapter, okay? It's death and rebirth, ending the chapter and then opening up for a totally, not just new chapter, it could even be a new book of life, right? So in this sense, it's very powerful for you here, and it has to do with your hopes and dreams. It has to do with your friendship circles, your social circles and social networking, and how you can grow this in a totally new way, Pisces. And you're so creative, you will find, I bet, many ways to express this. Now also we still have Saturn in your 9th house, and this is harmonizing here to this area of your chart. And Saturn being in the 9th house is foreign places, people and groups and foreign languages and anything here that can grow and expand your sense of higher understanding and higher teaching. So a great time for you to take up on any new courses, meeting new people socially through it, or maybe it's you opening up in a new way where you perhaps might be mentoring these social groups and networks too. It can work out that way as well. And we have Venus here in this very same area of the 11th house. She's retrograde though, so she's giving you an extended time as she journeys through here. And being retrograde, well, it can bring back people or situations that you initiated while she was moving directly here. So if something didn't pan out right there and then, instead of having to wait a full year for Venus to come back to this area, she's retrograding you, giving you a second chance. So pay attention to any kind of offers coming your way or any opportunities coming your way that can actually enhance this area of your life. Then we have Neptune still in your 1st house. Now she's moving direct, so we're out of the fog, right? And that blurriness is gone, but you more than anybody know how to roll with Neptune, whether she is direct or retrograde, because it is your ruler. But it's always nice to have our ruler moving with us as we move forward. And Uranus still in your 2nd house for income, so you may still see some fluctuations of this coming or going. There might be high tides, there might be somewhat low tides, but there's always this area of the unexpected. And Uranus being in this house, again ruled by Aquarius, well, you know, some of you might be expanding out into the internet, finding a secondary income coming to you this way. If you're smart, you can network socially here with people helping you expand this area for you. Jupiter is still in the 5th house. That is love and relationships. It is you and your creative self-expression. And also I'd like to say any kind of creative projects you're working on. Well, now as Jupiter is retrograde and will be here until late winter into spring, well, this will also perhaps bring back to you some opportunities that you have worked on a little bit earlier throughout summer and autumn, now coming back around. And so pay attention to those opportunities too, because Jupiter is big and Jupiter is full of abundance. It's really generous. So you might just seem to luck out. Now Jupiter here is in an opposition to the 11th house. Everything that's working on there. And oppositions don't have to be bad. Yes, they do indicate challenges, but those challenges is helping you focus on and finding the midpoint between these two forces. And Jupiter isn't the worst planet to have in opposition, but it's bringing out something big, because on the opposite end here, you got the Sun, the new moon, you got Pluto, you got Mercury as well. So in this, there might be some communications coming to you at this time that has the potential to lift and launch you outwards, okay? So this is a great, great month for you here, Pisces. Mars is moving through your 8th house of commissions, royalties. So great time to look at what you have as far as joint ventures with partners, with groups. It could be a time for you to really look over your investments, savings, perhaps also insurances. Now we got the whole Obamacare going on. How many of you Pisces out there are insured or uninsured, right? So we got that going too. And then we have the full moon this month here, landing right in your creative house, you know, so right there with Jupiter. So pay attention to January 16th. This is when something may just lock in here for you. But let's go to the top of the month so we can take it step by step. And I have to say that just at the end of December, you might have noticed that a lot of things were a little edgy, and I mentioned that in last month's forecast as well. And those energies, the Mars-Uranus opposition, we got Jupiter and Pluto opposition, we got Pluto and Uranus square, you know, so we got the Sun square Mars. So these planets, when they work together harmoniously, they can lift and move mountains. When they're banging up towards each other, well, yes, then we do have challenges and we have to stand up against them. And it's all about mastering those energies, you know, finding that midpoint so we don't go off a hinge, which probably you will be experiencing people around you go off their hinges, you know, and you could too. So let's take a look at January 1st, the Sun and Pluto. That's a lot of power. That's transformation right there. We got the Sun here, square Mars on the 3rd. We have Mars opposite Uranus on the 3rd. Now Mars is feisty, it's our drive, our ambition. Uranus wants to change things. If it's good changes, it will bring that right in. If Mars is finding out that something has been difficult or blocking you, holding you back, stifling you, Uranus will say, you know, and then that's going to be gone. Uranus will never break away from something that's good. It never will, because Uranus is always looking out for you, because it rules change so that you can get to these next new levels, okay? That's always the highest intention of Uranus. When Uranus comes with these unexpected shocks or breaks whatever weak link, that is only looking out for your highest good in the long run, because Jupiter can look very easily into the future, knowing that if you are stuck in the weak link, well then you are delaying your life's evolution, right? So when things split apart, it is for the higher good. You might want to look out for these couple of days so you don't put yourself in a bind. And I'd just like to say, you know, anybody out there, for example, wanting to give somebody an ultimatum, we know that ultimatums never work. So you push somebody up in a corner, you're probably the one that loses out. So ultimatums are never really a good thing, and it could be easy for some of you to actually want to do that because there's been a building energy here for a long time and you're just so antsy. Mars is wanting to get somewhere. But you know, it takes two to tango, right? And either things come together for you the way they should, and if not, well, there's a message there for you. So just be careful that you don't do anything that you may regret. And then on the 6th and 7th, whatever has been a little topsy-turvy there from the last few days of December all the way until now, so it's like a full week or more of these energies. But then on the 6th and 7th, Mercury's coming around, and it will discuss with Saturn and put things more at ease, bringing things back to Earth, so to speak, and in a very loving way, because Mercury and Venus here has a good conjunction. This is happening in your 11th house, so this is probably somewhere within the area of friendships or your hopes and dreams, and through the 9th house of higher truth. So that should work for you. And then we also have Mars here on the 8th that wants to test again whether this is going to sit with you or with this other person or this other group, because Jupiter here right now wants to shine some light on, as if Jupiter is saying, well, okay, are you happy now with this agreement or not? So if you're not quite sure quite yet, hold your horses just a little bit, because here on the 11th, you will have more supportive energy, because where Mercury was communicating your ideal thoughts or your intentions there, that 11th house intention, Venus now is coming into that very same spot that Mercury was. And so now you're allowed to place a little bit more, perhaps, not just the intellectual, logical energy of Mercury, but now down into the heart and place a little bit more feeling and emotion into this. And Venus and Saturn there, they will cooperate really well. This is once again between Capricorn and Scorpio. It's between your 11th and 9th house. So whatever these agreements are, they can lock in and they can have long-lasting qualities and effect. Then also on the same day, the Sun is coming in here to conjunct Venus. And Venus is already sextile Saturn, so that means that the Sun also is sextile Saturn. So the 11th is a great day for any kind of agreements. If any of you may, for example, also need to go and have some negotiations or have an interview, career interview, great day to schedule the 11th. I would stay away from any kind of negotiations or interviews on that very first week of January, okay? Because it's like this. And they may not be as open and receptive to hear what it is you have to offer. But then again, the 11th is great. And Mercury here, also on the 11th, is now moving out of this area of the 11th, moving into your 12th house. So now you can have a little bit of a mental break, because it's been hammering down here now for a couple of weeks, your mind has. So you're going to have a little peace after this. Then we have on the 16th, everyone, well, go back now to October. What happened there in that first, second week romantically? Because this is going to be a theme coming back around, and now having you look at how far have you come from what you spoke about, tried to work at back then, and it might have been a little bit difficult. Beginning of October, first half at least, was a little difficult for a lot of people. And now it coming back, well, Venus is in a good place, okay? It's supported here by other aspects than it had in October. But here squaring Mars again, it's more like the universe is saying, okay, how far have we come, right? And now what do we want to do about it? Are we okay? Do we need to tweak a little bit? See, this is where Mars will come in, and it will work with it if it needs to. If things are good, you're good to go. And actually it looks like this square doesn't have to be all that bad. Why? Because Mercury and Uranus is here coming into that very same 24-hour span with communication, with new thinking, higher thinking, original thinking. That is Uranus, okay? So you should do pretty okay, I'd like to say. Then we have here on the 20th, the Sun is going to be moving into your 12th house as well. And this is when you wrap up your journey here from the whole last year, the month before your birthday. Okay, it's looking in retrospect, the 11 months that has passed. What was good? What have you achieved? Where have you expanded? Now it's just like taking it all in and allowing to digest it a little bit as you reload, you know, recharge your batteries, because next month that is definitely now going to start putting some of you into this new cycle, especially those of you very early born Pisces will have a birthday starting there end of February. So then we have on the 24th and 25th, we got Mercury and Mars here. A day of action, a day of accomplishing things, really putting, you know, sparks towards this horizon of what you're trying to shoot at. And what are you trying to shoot at? It's new income streams. And how can you do this? It's the 8th house here. There might be now looking at receiving perhaps some new royalties or commissions. So that should be a day that you want to look for, January 24th, yes. And then we also have here, end of the month, a couple of exciting things. Now, like we say, Uranus can bring unexpected news, and when receiving good aspects, like she will, or he will, on the 29th from the Sun, I think you should definitely be getting some good news here. And this will be from between the 12th and the 2nd house. So it's news of income. We just had some income information on January 24th, and then here on the 29th, even more coming in. Okay, so 2 great days for financial situations. And then let's go back to August. What took place there? Some major decision. Some of you might have relocated. Jupiter loves to travel. It loves to move. It loves to expand that area. For you here back in August, end of July, August, well, then that was in your 4th house, just moving, wanting to move into. No, it was still, sorry, it was still in your 5th house, but a creative change there. So for you, this might be a revisited issue. How far have you come? How have you expanded within this new creative chapter of your life been? Because Pluto wants to not re-event or redo, but it wants to re-energize, it wants to expand, it wants to transform this very area. And Jupiter is right there with it. So this opposition, it's like, I see how you've worked. I see how you've been trying to, should I say, spread your wings and move into these higher heights. This will be a theme starting at January 31st. We'll talk more about that here in February, because it's going to last for a couple of weeks here where things are going to be highlighted for you. So the 5th house, the 11th house, children, self-expression, creativity, your creative projects. Jupiter wants to grow and expand here. Now, she is retrograde, but that doesn't really hold Jupiter back from doing the giving that she does. And then it's the 11th house. So it's your creative expression out there towards groups. Okay, that's going to be a big thing here, starting up end of January into February. So this is pretty much what we have for you. Like I said, there is that full moon on January 16th. You want to pay attention to it in this very same area we just spoke about. And then go listen to your moon and rising sign. And I'll see you next week or next month, Pisces. And do subscribe if you haven't, so you will have it in your inbox here next month. So take care now. Bye-bye.